Welcome to my car today. So we're gonna go walk some history today in Galveston, Texas. We're gonna learn all about Juneteenth. Today is June 19th, 2023. So today is whenever the history happened, you know, those years ago. We're gonna learn more about June 19th. What I do know is that Galveston was the last and final place in the entire country in which enslaved peoples were notified that they are now free. Which, you know, there's some sad history there of they're being the last to know, people keeping information from them. But finally the day came and it was Juneteenth, and we still celebrate today. Now it's a national holiday, which is super, super awesome. And since I live minutes away from Galveston and I love history, I figured today would be a really great day to go learn about this awesome day. Awesome day, you know, there's some sadness to it that they didn't get to know about their freedom until years after the fact. But today's the day that it happened. Let's go check out some monuments and some spaces where the history happened in Galveston, Texas. Made it to Galveston, got my little parking space. I'm now standing across the street from where we're headed. The first place I want to take you is to what's called the Absolute Equality Mural. And it is a mural depicting, you know, Civil War, the Gettysburg Address, Abraham Lincoln, and the day that enslaved peoples were freed here in Galveston, June 19th. It is right across the street. It is right there. So let's get over there and check it out. All right, so we've made it to the mural. We'll get a closer look in a little bit, but I wanted to show you guys the June 19th Texas Historical Foundation plaque that's right out here. Juneteenth is the oldest known celebration of the end of slavery in the U.S. The Emancipation Proclamation, issued by President Abraham Lincoln on September 22nd, 1862, announced that on the first day of January, 1863, all persons held as slaves within any state in rebellion against the U.S. shall be then forced and forever free. Even though enslaved peoples were freed January 1st, 1863, word didn't get here to Galveston until 1865 after the Civil War was completely over. So, you know, these people lived still enslaved after 2 years of what could have been their freedom. So super interesting. I guess word did travel slower, but also there was some repression by the people who decided that they should own people. Yeah, here's the mural behind me. There's a pretty little seating space I'll show you guys in a little bit, but let's get a close-up on this mural. Again, this mural is called the Absolute Equality Mural here in Galveston, Texas. It's right on the Strand. Depicts different parts of the Civil War and the struggle and fight to become free here in this country. Human beings had to fight for their freedom. You know, civil rights issues are still ongoing. So it's a constant fight, it's a constant struggle. We've got some bits of the Emancipation Proclamation written down at the bottom of the mural. Abraham Lincoln. We got some people viewing now, which that's awesome to see a lot of people out here today. Super, super awesome. And the year 1865, which is the year that word finally got to Galveston, 2 years after freedom was given, word finally got to Galveston. This is such an awesome mural, and I'm so happy that it's here in Galveston, where the history happened. I'm sorry I misspoke. The words at the bottom there are actually not the Emancipation Proclamation. They're a proclamation that was made here June 19th, 1865, that let the enslaved peoples know they're free. I'll go ahead and see if I can read it out for you guys while you guys look at the mural. Super, super pretty. The people of Texas are informed that, in accordance with a proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves, and the connection heretofore existing between them shall Existing between them becomes that between employer and hired labor. The freedmen are advised to remain quietly at their present homes and work for wages. They are informed that they will not be allowed to collect at military posts and that they will not be supported in idleness, either there or elsewhere. General Order Number 3. Around the side of the mural is some plaques to let you know who was sponsors of the mural, along with some shaded seating, which is super nice and super needed because it is hot out here. It's been like 95 since 8 a.m. But yeah, there's a mural in the seating. Super awesome. I'm just, you know, taking a step back and taking a better look at the depictions. It looks like we got Harriet Tubman and images of the actual enslaved people's trade. And we've got images of the Civil War there at the top. Abraham Lincoln breaking the shackles of slavery, holding the broken shackles of doves. I believe this is the surrender of the Civil War. Then we've got, I think, moving on to the future, people marching, church houses, and there is an astronaut up here. Super, super beautiful. Lots of great representation here. And you can find this mural. It's on the Strand. It's called the Absolute Equality Mural if you want to look it up in your maps. It's also in a parking lot here. So they do have day parking usually. It's just shut off for Juneteenth today because they know a lot of people will be in and out of here checking out the mural. The mural is at the corner of the Strand and Kempner. And this is the Strand all along here. Super awesome. Also, this store right here has lots of cute stuff. Just side note. Alright, and with that, we're going to head to our next historic space, which is Ashton Villa. I'll tell you more about it once we get over there. But yeah, this is Absolute Equality Mural, and we're going to take about a 15-minute walk up Broadway. Alright, if you're deciding to walk like I am, make sure you have cold water. It's about a 15-minute walk, and you'll see some pretty cool stuff like this church. It's pretty bell. But boy, is it hot. Alright, 15-minute walk later, we have finally made it to Ashton Villa. This is where Galveston's Juneteenth story happened, you guys. They even have an exhibit here that I may hop in. Yeah, let's take a look around the grounds. This beautiful building. These steps where these folks are taking pictures right here. This is where the proclamation was read. All enslaved peoples are free in 1865. Pretty amazing. That's where the history happened. This is the gate. And this is the history we're gonna walk. Wow. So this is the space where the proclamation was read and all enslaved peoples were freed. Wow. That's the view. Obviously it's way more busy. I'm sure there were carriages and horses gone by that day. But yeah, this is where the history happened. I love standing where the history took place. Super awesome. This statue is of, so I'm going to try to read and keep him in the focus. It says, on June 19th, 1865, at the close of the Civil War, U.S. Army General Gordon Granger issued an order in Galveston stating the 1863 Emancipation Proclamation was in effect. That event, later known as Juneteenth, marked the end of slavery in Texas. Celebrated as a day of freedom since then, Juneteenth grew into an international commemoration and in 1979 became an official Texas holiday through the efforts of State Representative Albert Edwards of Houston, Texas. So now I'm sat in this pretty little garden out here, right next to the house, right offside Broadway. And let me just show you. It's just so pretty. Beautiful courtyard. Okay, so I was able to get more information on this building. It was built for Debbie Brown, who then let her sister live here in the 1800s. And then it turned into Confederate offices during the Civil War, which is pretty crazy to think that later on, Mr. Gordon came by this building, went to those steps and posted up and let everyone know that the enslaved peoples were free. That is quite the history. Confederate offices to freedom for enslaved people. It's super awesome. It's super poignant, I think. And they did mention that he probably didn't stand on the steps and like proclaim that the proclamation was occurring, but he definitely came here and he posted up the poster that let people know that they were free. It's pretty cool. All right, so that is our trip out to Ashton Villa, where it was proclaimed that enslaved peoples are now free. Super gorgeous property. Lots of people around, super awesome to see. We have one more spot I want to check out. Okay, so what I just showed you is actually right behind me. Here's the villa. If you come down the street down this way, right behind me is the Blank Slate Statue. Sorry, Blank Slate Statue. It is dedicated today, June 19th, 2023. So it's basically, you typically see Confederate statues as, you know, Confederate soldiers. But that is a statue depicting the opposite, and ended up with the freeing of enslaved people there at the top. Pretty poignant. I couldn't talk over there because you may be able to hear, but there's still, like, there's loud music playing over there. Pretty poignant how it was an enslaved person being stepped on by a soldier, and the soldier was lifting up a woman with a lantern and a baby on her back. Like, that is just really moving. And again, it's right behind the building of Ashton Villa. So with that, we've seen the mural, the Absolute Equality Mural, Ashton Villa, where the proclamation was made that enslaved people are now free. And right behind the building is the Blank Slate Statue, which was dedicated today, June 19th, 2023. Thank you so much for walking through history with me. I'll see you next time.